Hi, I'm Natalie Bouchard, and you're listening to Inside NC Labor, a podcast designed to inform and educate North Carolina citizens on the role that the Department of Labor plays in state government.
So today we're continuing our series for alliances that the Department of Labor works with. Today we have a very special guest with Carolina's AGC. Bill Stricker is here today. I just want to say one thing before we get started. An alliance is a very important relationship that the North Carolina Department of Labor establishes with organizations such as Carolina's AGC to create awareness and improve safety in the workplace. And with Bill, we've been able to accomplish so many things in the construction industry. And I'm going to open it up and let you tell us a little bit about Carolina's AGC to kick this off.
Thank you very much, Dolores. I'm very appreciative of the opportunity to come and talk with you today. Carolina's AGC is a trade association that represents the commercial, heavy industrial, utility sector of the construction industry. Not home building, that would be the Home Builders Association that would represent them. But we have about 800 firms that are members of Carolina's AGC, and we've been around a pretty long time. As a matter of fact, in 2020 will be our 100th birthday, and we're pretty proud of that.
Wow.
We're one of the first chapters of the Associated General Contractors of America, which is our parent organization, national organization. And we do a lot of things for the construction industry, but one of the most important things that we do is to try and promote safety in the workplace and to work with organizations like the North Carolina Department of Labor in doing that. And so you mentioned the alliance agreement, and we've been a partner with the North Carolina Department of Labor for many years. But I went back and I looked in our records to see when the first alliance agreement was signed, and the last one that I could find, or the oldest one that I could find, was from 2010. Now, I've been with AGC, or Carolina's AGC, 33 years.
Oh, my goodness.
So I know for a fact that we've been a partner for much longer than since 2010. But that was the oldest one that I could find.
That's a long time.
It is a long time.
And what it's enabled us to do, which I think is so important, is reach the general contractors in the commercial and industrial industry, because we have to have the buy-in of those guys to reach the frontline workers. Would you agree?
Absolutely do. Safety starts at the top. It's a culture, and that's what we try to promote with the companies that are in our organization. And by the way, the safety services that we offer and the programs that we promote and the work that we do with your organization, the Department of Labor, is not just limited to the 800 companies that belong to our organization. We're constantly reaching out to people and companies that are outside of Carolina's AGC, and we invite them in to attend our training programs and to come to seminars. And many people subscribe to our newsletters and Facebook page and get our tweets and other social media type of things that we use to spread the word. So it's very important. But it starts at the top and it works itself down. You have to have buy-in and commitment from management in order for field personnel to recognize that this company values me as an employee, they value me, my life, and they want me to be a safe and productive worker in the workplace.
Right, and it gets their employees to the training session. Y'all have been great about having various training sessions over the years, bringing in our mobile training unit, providing hands-on training, all these things that are so important to reaching those frontline workers. I think this is our 5th year of participating in the National Stand Down to Prevent Falls in construction. This is something that you all are working with us on.
We absolutely
coming up
are.
with too. We're bringing back our construction forums.
We are.
You know, the construction industry, I'd like you to speak a little bit about the industry, because everybody remembers when it crashed. The industry crashed,
Sure.
And construction basically went away. Now it's come back. probably since 2015, right?
It has,
We're seeing
it has.
increase.
Absolutely.
And our activity with you all is increasing because of that. I think that's another reason why Education, Training, and Technical Assistance is bringing back the construction forums, so that we can, get this message to those folks that are doing the most dangerous work in the state when you think about it.
Some of it is very dangerous. That's right.
So just speak a little bit about, what you all are seeing with the industry and some of the other things that we're trying to do.
Well, the industry is absolutely booming, more so now than probably any time that I remember in my 33-year career with Carolinas HEC. And our industry, like many today, is facing a workforce shortage. There definitely is a shortage of skilled craftsmen, of people who are experienced in the commercial, industrial, heavy construction industry. And they do take specialized skills, and they need experience in that area, and they need good leadership, and they need good training, and all of those things to be successful in the workplace and for jobs to be successful. Recruiting people to the industry is a focus of ours right now. We have a program called Build Your Career that we started, an initiative that we started 2 years ago. We have deployed an army, so to speak, of contractors out into the workplace, out into their local communities. We call those folks ambassadors. And so they're going out into schools, working with religious organizations and other social organizations, people like Goodwill. They're even working with prisons and other folks to try and educate people about what the opportunities in construction are, that there's great wages and great benefits that can be earned there, and that there's a very good career path for people to follow and can make a great career out of construction. But when you recruit those kinds of people, Dolores, many of them have no experience at all. And so that segues into what you're talking about as far as the training is concerned, right. And particularly an emphasis on safety training, so that people understand how to use the tools properly, how to be aware of their surroundings, because in construction, the site changes daily. An hour ago, there might not have been a hole in the floor on the second floor of this building, and now a hole's been cut. And so if people aren't aware of their surroundings and they're just moving through that workspace and they didn't know that, then certainly that could end up in them falling through that hole. And by the way, you mentioned falls, and that's a great segue as well.
It does. It brings us back to falls.
Yes, the standout's coming up for fall protection. And unfortunately, the statistics still show that falls injure and kill more people in the construction industry than any other type of accident. And so we have a tremendous focus on trying to make people aware of using the proper equipment, the proper PPE, when they're in elevated situations, when they're on ladders or scaffolding or working on steel or whatever, and also to be very aware of their surroundings so that they don't trip over things or they don't fall through holes or those kinds of things. So it's a big emphasis of ours, and I know it's a huge emphasis of the Department of Labor's as well.
It really is, and if anybody's listening today that's in the industry, we encourage them to participate. Take some time during the week of the National Stand Down. The dates are in May, the first week in May.
It is the first week of May.
Take some time and focus on falls.
Yeah, we're putting out information to all of our members, and that's what we're encouraging them to do, is to actually stop work. Take a half hour or something out of a work day, at least during that week, and sometimes more than one time during the week. Pull your employees together, huddle up, have those toolbox talk about fall protection and how important it is. But again, it has to come from the top down.
That's right.
It's a culture.
And the construction forums will take place the same week of the National Stand Down to Prevent Falls in Construction. That's May 7th and 9th. One event in Raleigh and one in Charlotte.
It's going to be in Concord, actually.
Concord, thank you.
It is. Mm-hmm.
So we have a lot of things going on that week. You mentioned social media. Anybody listening, why don't you share your handle on Twitter?
Well, it's just hashtag Carolinas AGC or CAGC for Twitter. We are on Facebook. We do have a Facebook page at Carolinas AGC. Our website is www.cagc.org. That Build Your Career program that I mentioned is buildyourcareer.us. And by the way, I'll mention this as well. The General Assembly was very gracious in allocating some funds to the community college system this past year. And they have been working with our Build Your Career program, the community college system here in North Carolina, to redevelop a brand new website that's going to have much more in-depth resources about what opportunities in construction are, where you can go for training, companies that you can link up with, and all of those sorts of things are going to be out there. So we're very, very, very happy with that partnership, also with the community college system here in North Carolina, because they really are a very important partner with us in providing the training that we need for the construction industry.
That's great. I'm glad you mentioned that. I think we all share the mutual goal, and I know we hear Commissioner Berry say this all the time, and it sounds so simple, but really the goal is to have everybody go home from their work at the end of the day, right? To their family.
Yes.
To the people
we did a
that
campaign
they
with
care
her
about.
a few years ago about it was called Safely Home. It was a successful campaign. We thought probably need to think about bringing that back.
I know, because I think people understand that.
They do.
You know,
Everybody wants to go home at the end of the day.
At the end of the day.
They do.
And it just takes a split second for that not to happen.
Yeah, that's right.
Before we wrap up today, Bill, is there anything else you'd like to add?
I just want to, again, thank the Department of Labor for your support. Our safety committee is very dedicated to working, continuing our partnership with the Department of Labor. I would like to say a special thank you to Paul Sullivan with the Department of Labor. Paul's great. He comes to every safety meeting that we have, and he's a tremendous resource to our industry in helping us keep up with changes that are taking place and understanding where the trends are and those kinds of things. I will say one other thing, if I'm speaking now to the construction industry as a whole. One thing that I would like to see the industry do more of with the Department of Labor is take advantage of the consultative services that you offer. I think that is maybe one of the weakest areas that I see, and I'm not exactly sure why that's the case, because it's a great service.
It is.
It's not linked to enforcement at all. A lot of people believe that, but that's not the case. And I'd just like to see more and more contractors take advantage of the consultative services.
Well, Kevin Ebar, the Bureau Chief for the Consultative Services Bureau, will be very happy that you mentioned consultative services. And it is
it's a great service.
It's a great service.
And you got a great truck that can come out to a job site and do training and that sort of thing. And we've had it at our place before, and that's a good service as well.
It really is. Thanks for mentioning that.
You're very welcome.
So I guess we'll just wrap it up with that. And we appreciate you coming and spending your time with us today. And we look forward to working with you in May during the National Stand Down to Prevent Falls in Construction.
Thank you. We look forward to it as well.
Thanks so much for tuning in, y'all. Remember, your safety is our priority.